It's 8 p.m. Hello and welcome to the Citi Newsroom, live on Citi TV. My name is Frema Adunyame.
And my name is Quao.
Coming up, a former President John Dramani Mahama promises an insult-free campaign as he submits his letter of intent to contest the National Democratic Congress flag-bearer race. We'll bring you a full report on an eventful day at the headquarters of the party.
Supreme Court Justice nominee Ashikote decries the drop in quality in terms of recent graduates of the Ghana School of Law.
Also coming up, we will project into 2019 and ask how fisher folk will prepare for the closed fishing season that will come.
Also on the Citi Newsroom, a chief at Guma Quao in the Central Region has been remanded for his involvement in the death of an NDC youth organizer.
Let's now take the news in detail. The Obatan of Guma Quao in the Guma East District of the Central Region, Obatan Nana Akon Ashlu, has been remanded by the Wutu Breku Magistrate Court for allegedly being involved in the killing of Prince Mensah, the National Democratic Congress NDC youth organizer for the area.
According to the court, presided over by Justice Joseph Bahume, the Obatan organized some thugs who beat up the NDC organizer and dumped his body at Potting Junction to make it look like the youth organizer had been involved in a motor accident. It will be recalled that news went viral about a month ago that the NDC youth organizer for Guma East District, Mr. Prince Mensah, was involved in a fatal car accident at Potting Junction on the Cape Coast Road, and the chief has been remanded pending further investigation. And we stay with the NDC, and former President John Dramani Mahama has officially notified the NDC of his intention to contest the party's flag bearership race, presenting a letter to the party on behalf of the former president. Ambassador General Jikum said John Dramani Mahama was the NDC's best bet for victory.
He made the presentation to Party General Secretary Johnson Nketia amidst cheers from his supporters and former appointees. Citi News' Kujo Ajiman was there.
There's euphoria at the NDC party headquarters. Party supporters from far and near cheering their candidate on as if they have won an election, but they are here to be members of the John Mahama team to official attention test in the race. The singing and dancing go on and on. In one of the party's conference room, members of the John Mahama team present the letter of intent to the party executives, but not without a word or two.
A short while ago, we presented a letter to the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress on behalf of our former president, John Dramani Mahama. In that letter, he officially communicated his intention to contest the flag bearership of this great party. We sincerely believe that it is one huge step in the journey of the NDC to come back to power, to salvage the sinking ship of state, as we all know.
The General Secretary of the party, Johnson Nketia, advised the team to play by the rules of the party and also be decorous in the campaign.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have already quoted our constitution to remind all the contestants about the need to be decorous in your pronouncements when you are on the campaign trail. And we have also pointed at the various sections of the constitution that deal with our disciplinary code. And if the history of some of us is anything to guide you, we intend to hold your feet onto fire. So please, if you don't trouble will not trouble you. So make sure, if you want to lead the National Democratic Congress, you abide by the Constitution of the National Democratic Congress.
Some party faithful spoke to Citi Newsroom on why they are supporting a John Mahama comeback.
Well, Team JM believes that we must be looking for the best for our party come the 2020 elections. Not just for our party, but to continue with the good work that we started for Mother Ghana.
You remember the Benin president? You remember him very well. Can you give me the name of the Benin president who was one term? He came back and he continued. So when you say one term, those things are, they don't mean anything. The important thing is that has the person got the capacity? Has the person got the experience? So I believe he has got the experience and he has been well marketed.
My support for President John Dramani Mahama is based on the fact that once he was the president of this republic, he demonstrated significant vision for this country. He had a vision to develop this country as a whole. And so if you move across the length and breadth of this country, you see the real transformational policies and programs undertaken by him.
At his office, former President Mahama assured the party that he would run a clean campaign.
We are one family and our objective is the same. And so I wish to assure that in my own nature, I'm not a person who would cast any aspersion or negativity or insults at any of my comrades who have declared their intention to run. And I expect that for all those who support me, they would also follow in the same track and not attack or say anything or cast any aspersion at any of our opponents who are running with us. Because after the Congress, we'll have to come back together again. Let us not, in going into the friendly contest, which will take place in December, burn the bridges between us so that it will make it easier for us to come back again and fulfill the objective that we are facing.
Former President John Dramani Mahama has declared his intention to contest as flag bearer of the NDC. 10 others have also declared their intention, but a decision will be made by the delegates when they go to Congress in December. My name is Kojo Ajman reporting for Citi News.
Right now, Member of Parliament for North Tongue Samuel Okudita Blacko has joined us in the studio to discuss the chances of the former President Mahama, who has finally declared his intention to join the NDC flag bearership race. Thank you very much for your time, Honorable.
All right, thank you, Frema. Good to see you.
Same here. Right, so the former president has declared his intentions, but let's go back to 2016. He was your candidate and you lost. What exactly happened?
And I would love to also take you back to 2012. He was our candidate and he won. So the narrative, I think, that has not been particularly fair to President Mahama. We speak as though he has not defeated Nana Akufo-Addo before or has not led us to victory before. Yes, truthfully, in the last election, 2016, President Mahama led us unsuccessfully to the 2016 poll. But in 2012, he was successful. He secured a first-round victory. And so I call the 2020 election the grand finale, if you like, because as we speak now, it's a 1-1 draw. President Mahama has shown that he is capable of defeating President Akufo-Addo. President Akufo-Addo has also defeated President Mahama before. So at the end of the day, I believe that Ghanaians have a very wonderful opportunity to assess both personalities. You have had the opportunity to see the leadership of President Mahama and to see what President Mahama delivered. This is a leader who, as we speak, his projects are still being commissioned. The health minister only last week said that all the hospitals he's been opening are Mahama hospitals, and he acknowledges that when he goes around the country. You've had a situation where the Kotoka International Airport Terminal 3, which is yet to be commissioned, will be President Mahama will be remembered for that project. When we look around us, the magnificent infrastructure that we are benefiting from, right from the Circle Interchange to the Kaswa Interchange to the Fufoso Solar Road. You look at the major market projects from KJTR Market to Ho Market to the Kotokraba Market in Cape Coast. You look at Stadia, you know, in Cape Coast. Then you look at educational facilities, the community day schools. But for the community day schools, free SHS will not have been possible. And at least on that score, the current government has admitted that, but for the 50 community day schools they inherited, it will not have been possible to accommodate the students under the free SHS program for first years. So it is important that we compare the two leaders. You have one who has quite an impressive track record. We are not saying that President Mahama was perfect. We are not saying that the previous government did not have its shortcomings. As a human government, there's no perfect human being, no perfect leader. And when you listen to President Mahama carefully today in the recorded video which has gone viral, he says that he's had opportunity to reflect. He has had opportunity to carry out deep introspection. And he says that he would love a second opportunity to right the wrongs. That is a leader. Yeah. That is a leader admitting that not all went well.
So what went wrong in 2016? Because with everything you've enumerated, he did what he had to do. So was it the candidate who didn't perform, or if we could refer to the Butchie Committee's report, was it that communicators didn't know about the message of the party at the time? What exactly went wrong?
I would say that there were a number of factors. Remember that this is the first time we went into an election under an IMF program. And we all know that when you submit yourself under an IMF program, it creates some austerity. You are not able to spend as you will expect. And so naturally there was some tightness in the economy. Liquidity was not as good as people will expect. Then there were the issues of expectations, the very high expectations for candidate Mahama when he emerged in 2012. And it does appear that not everybody had their expectations met. Then there was also the challenge of having an opponent who threw in their all. President Akufo-Addo, then candidate Akufo-Addo, knew that age was not on his side. This is his third time. He can't afford to be third time unlucky. And so just threw everything into the kitchen sink, promised everything under the sun. He just went on a promising spree. And so there was that deception as well, where no matter what President Mahama did and offered, the MPP, all they had to say, and it's easier when you're at opposition, all they had to say was that we could have done better. Now Ghanaians are asking, you say you could have done better. You have borrowed so much, from about 134 billion, we are talking about 180, almost 190 billion if you add the loans, the 12 loans that came the last day we rose from Parliament. You ask, so what are all these loans for? You've borrowed so much, and yet we don't have anything to show the Ghanaian people what you have been borrowing for all these years. Mind you, this is the same team that had said that President Mahama was borrowing too much. As we speak, we've crossed the debt distress level. We are doing 72% of GDP. Very dangerous. I mean, this is a team that said that, look, the money is in Ghana. We remember Dr. Bawumia famously saying, I've worked at the Bank of Ghana before I was deputy governor. I know the money is here. So all of the things they said they would do, they have not. We can't find the district. One district, one factory has not happened. One village, one dam has not happened. $1 million per constituency has not happened. The thousands of jobs they promised the youth of this country, the teeming youth, they have not delivered on it. What we have rather seen is hardship upon hardship. Remember the famous photo of Dr. Bawumia saying that he woke up this morning and fuel prices has gone up. President Mahama must be very callous and this hardship cannot continue. Every week, virtually, petrol prices are going up. And you don't hear Dr. Bawumia addressing that. They complain about stabilizing the economy. Look at how the cedi continues to depreciate. Look at how the general Ghanaian indigenous businessman, businesswoman feels so emasculated. I mean, talk to the Abuso kind spare parts dealers. You talk to importers. They are all complaining. I mean, under President Mahama, you could clear your goods for about 3,000 cedis. They tell you that now, if you don't have 10,000, 11,000 cedis, you can't clear your goods. So that's the reality now. More hardship, more disillusionment. People are just despondent. And unfortunately, scandal after scandal after scandal. We have lost count as a minority. Anytime you prepare to, deal with a scandal and expose those who are responsible, you are not even done with discussing then a new scandal and then a new scandal and then another scandal. So this is not the kind of leadership, the kind of governance that the people of this country expected. And the genuine fact is that Ghanaians are really disappointed. And that is why we are saying that in President Mahama, you have an experienced leader, you have a leader who has the benefit of hindsight, who is coming for just one term, and he would want to leave with a very solid track record. He wants to, as he has said, right the few wrongs, the few mistakes that he made, being fallible, being human, and then he wants to offer more honest leadership. He is not going to come promising the heavens. He is going to be honest and realistic and truthful to the people. But you see, he also has a certain competence, which now Ghanaians can appreciate. They spoke as though it was so easy and they had a magic wand. Before we go on to his competence,
with everything that he did, if you bear me out, turnout for the 2016 elections, even out to your strongholds, Volta region, was low. How do you describe his popularity, even amongst your own people?
Yes, the Volta region question keeps coming up. And I have said that let's look at the trends. Every 8 years, the two major political parties, there is low turnout in our strongholds. Take the MPP in 2008. The turnout in the Ashanti region was low. It happened in 2000 under President Rawlings, who hails from the Volta region, and it happened again in 2016. So if you do a trend analysis since 1992, you notice that it does happen, because the strongholds, they expect that, the ruling party will, just give them all the goodies and, focus on those regions. But you take an oath to be president of Ghana. So it's a delicate balancing act. You don't want to abandon your World Bank, your stronghold, but at the same time too, you don't want to abuse your oath of office and discriminate against other parts of Ghana, the other 9 regions. So it is important to maintain that fine balance. But to be fair to President Mahama, he didn't fare that badly. He got 80% of the votes, just a 5 percentage point decline from 2012. He won 25 out of the 26 seats available in the Volta region. So I think that sometimes the Volta region performance of the NDC is exaggerated. If other regions, other strongholds of the NDC, like the Upper West, Upper East, Northern region, had fared as well as the Volta region did, we will not be where we are now. So I think that there is a certain exaggeration. But having said that, at the end of the day, let's ask ourselves, all those who are in the field, none of them has beaten President Akufo-Addo before. It is only President Mahama who has defeated President Akufo-Addo before. And so, why experiment? Why risk it when you have somebody who has shown that he is capable of defeating President Akufo-Addo? Just go for the person and let's have the grand finale and let's be able to win. I believe that at the end of the day, the people of Ghana will be looking at a leader who has track record, who has experience, who has shown tremendous good effort. And that person is President Mahama. Because when you juxtapose his achievements to that of President Akufo-Addo, who has been abysmal, it's been one failure after another failure after another failure, deadlines are being missed. One day, one factory in 2017, we're told that we'll get, by the end of the year, at least 50 will be ready. 2018, We are getting a new target, about 7 different deadlines and timelines which have all been made. So I am confident that President Mahama will emerge victorious. He remains our best bet for the 2020 elections. So
how do you market a candidate who in the past has been touted as corrupt? You know, President Mahama got the opportunity to rise through the ranks to a president. Why won't he retire on that note, considering what happened in 2016, how the defeat went, very historical? What is he coming with this time around? How are you going to be marketing him with all the baggage that he comes with?
You see, we are talking about 2 candidates who will now have the benefit of incumbency. So you have been tried and tested. Take one issue, Ameri. President Mahama was bashed with the Ameri agreement. We were told that the $500 million agreement was padded and that we could have done the whole arrangement for about $360 million thereabouts. That's what the MPP said when they were in opposition. How do they explain the attempt to renegotiate this agreement, not downwards, as they had promised when they were in opposition, but
that's if you're also thinking about the STX deal.
To $1.2 billion. As you know, the energy minister has been fired, and the president is trying to convince us that he was misled, which itself cannot be an excuse. The Ghanaian people would not want to vote for a president who will be either so gullible that he can easily be misled, or will be so fantastically incompetent that he can so be misled. Somebody who's been Attorney General before, who's been Member of Parliament before, who should be conversant with this agreement.
Personally did not say that he's been misled. I mean, we have seen what has happened, and then due to the firing of the minister.
The Statesman newspaper, government spokespersons have said that. They have said that the president was misled, and that is why.
So we can attribute that to them. Yeah. But we can also look at certain things that happened in the era of the NDC government. The XTS and other deals also came up. Now, a key person like Alban Bagbin has raised all kinds of issues. I mean, he cited your appointments and all, Dr. Mane Boama, Dr. Dana and all. This is somebody who has a say when it comes to the NDC. And this is the person who is supposed to be marketing your candidate should he become the flag bearer. How do we deal with this internal issues?
I'm surprised you say that the Honorable Alban Bagbin is supposed to be marketing John Mahama. He will be marketing himself naturally.
No, I mean, if President Mahama gets the nod to become your flag bearer, everybody's supposed to support, but this is his feelings towards him.
You see, that is why I think that what President Mahama said today is very profound. That in carrying out this campaign, which is a family affair, let us not conduct this campaign in a way that we destroy bridges, and we cannot come together, and we cannot market whoever emerges. And I have no doubt in my mind, I have predicted on this same network that President Mahama will emerge with not less than 85% of the votes. Nothing less than that, I can assure you. Now, a lot of the things that the Honorable Alban Bagbin has
I would like to know what you think about yours personally, what he said to you with your appointment as Deputy Education Minister in charge of tertiary, and the issues he raised concerning the lecturers and all these people. How do you accept that?
I have been saying all day that I want today to be about pride. I didn't think that I should submerge myself and let it become me versus the Honorable Alban Bagbin. I have put out an article which I encourage viewers to. But well, I that's my background. I was vice president of the Scripture Union, and I believe in strong Christian values. At the end of the day, there are facts in there, and I address some of the issues that the Honorable Alban Bagbin raised. But you see, fortunately, I've been in the public space for 10 years. And so I believe that on these matters, let the public judge. They would know your capability, your capacity. You can go talk to the lecturers, talk to the vice chancellors, and talk to the staff at the Ministry of Education. I would love to show you the messages that they have been sending me, encouraging me that I should not be distracted. And they found me, you know, a worthy partner. I did serve them well. So I do not want this to be about me. Those who are interested in my response, I've published it on my Facebook page. I think it's on other online portals. You can check what I have written. But at the end of the day, I think that there's a general feeling that some of the statements that other candidates are putting out are distasteful. They are in bad taste. For example, Dr. Dana, this is the first visually impaired Ghanaian to be called to the bar. The first visually impaired person to obtain a PhD from the prestigious London School of Economics. He becomes a chieftaincy minister. We should celebrate him. Dr. Mane Buama, I mean, he was Nook's president. He's a medical doctor. I mean, and I'm not surprised that Amnesty International has issued a statement today that we should not use people's disability against them, that they are blind, they stammer, and so cannot offer, you know, and I'm surprised that somebody of the caliber of the Honorable Aban Bagmin will make this statement. But you see, I do not want to descend into personality attacks. I will not hate back. I will not. I've said that I respect everybody in the race. They are all good family members who have something to contribute. Let us conduct this campaign in a very decorous manner. It's a family affair. Let it be about ideas. Look at look at the jobs that cannot be created, the promises that are being that cannot be kept. Let us focus on that and tell the Ghanaian people our ideas, our policy alternatives that will make us attractive as a viable government in waiting. That is what we should focus on, and I believe that we in the Mahama team, that is what we are going to do. And at the end of the day, by December 7, 2018, this year, I have no doubt that President Mahama will emerge convincingly. All right, Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa, thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Right, so we've been speaking to the Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa. He is the MP for North Tong constituency, and he's been telling us about former President Mahama's preparedness and how he wants to right some wrongs. And then he believes that come December 7, the former president is going to get the nod to become his party's flag bearer. Now, we've also been joined in the studio by Dr. Eche Sikanku, a political communications analyst, to talk more about this. Thank you very much for your time. You're welcome to Citi Newsroom. Good to be with you. Yes, so today the former president has declared his intentions to become a party flag bearer. Hopeful. How do you receive this? It's expected. At the end of the day, can he, would he, should he? Now we know at least he's going to run, but would he end up getting the flag bearership nod of the NDC? And will he end up being president again in 2020? What has been rumored all around and has been the subject of discussions in the back rooms of political settings or in people's kitchen tables is now out there in the open. The former president has said that he would indeed contest for the position of presidential candidate or flag bearer of the NDC. So I think it's a very interesting dynamic. We've never seen this happen before. All over the world, there are people who have had political histories and they've come back. In Malaysia, we've had that. And if you go to the US, there are state governorships in which these things have happened. Obasanjo, for instance, as a military ruler, he was leader, but then he came back as a civilian ruler. Okay, so this hasn't happened. The point I'm trying to make is that this is a novelty, and that this particular circumstance has not taken place. And so it's a very different scenario, and I'm sure that a lot of people will be watching out to see how it pans out. I mean, he has been tested and tried, and we know what he's bringing on board, but the others we don't know. How is he going to fare, you know, against the other candidates? He has 10 more people contesting against him. How is it going to be like? Would that be in his favor? Would that go against him? I'm not a big fan of numbers in terms of how many people contest or don't contest. You know, you go to the United States, for instance, in the Republican primaries the other time, there were about 17 people who were contesting against Donald Trump, Jeb Bush, and so on and so forth.
they had their own way of seeing it, and Donald Trump eventually became the leader. So I don't really think that says anything. It's just that John Mahama himself, I think he's the prohibitive front runner. And what do I mean by that? He's the prohibitive front runner because of the stature. One, as a former president, and secondly, as the immediate past flag bearer of the political party. So he definitely has widespread appeal and popularity among the populace compared to the other nominees. His announcement has definitely shaken the foundations of the race and the architecture of the candidature or the primaries in very fundamental ways. So yes, he is the prohibitive front runner, not the presumptive nominee, I should say, but of course he does have a step ahead the rest of the candidates. But that is not to say that this is a slam dunk. There are a lot of people who still hold some level of antipathy towards the former president in his former campaign for the party. And if you read the report and some of the permutations that have been going on, there was some disenchantment among the grassroots and also among the Ghanaian populace. So that is a responsibility of the former president and his campaign to make sure that they do overcome all those concerns as well. All right, thank you very much, Dr. Eche, for your time. So that was Dr. Eche. He is a political communications analyst talking about the intention declared by the former president to be a party flag bearer for the NDC for the 2020 elections. Now, moving on, the Asokore Mampo Municipal Security Council is expected to convene an emergency security meeting following concerns that police officers have abandoned their duty post within Asawasi. The council says the meeting will seek to address the security lapses in the community after youth in the area staged violent protests over the killing of 7 alleged robbers by police in the Ashanti region. Residents and other road users within Asawasi are already bearing the effect of the absence of the police as traffic jams at intersections continue to worsen. My colleague in the Ashanti region, Hafiz Tijani, has the details.
It is a normal day in Asawasi. Residents in the predominantly Muslim community are returning to their usual activities after they celebrated Eid al-Adha. The community was recently in the news after youth in the area staged violent protests over the killing of 7 of their colleagues by the police. Calm has returned to the area as residents are awaiting a report from an independent committee set up to investigate the matter. But police officers who are usually seen at intersections like Akotia Line, Abu Post Office, and Dementia Runabout directing traffic have all withdrawn from their duty post. Although the Asawasi police station is still operating, activities there are not brisk as expected. These residents are appealing to the Ashanti Regional Police Command to allow the officers return to post.
It's been about 2 weeks now or 3 weeks that I've not been seeing the police around to control the traffic. And due to that, in fact, this place, the traffic situation is very huge because, in fact, it's a joint. That is where whenever the president comes to Kumasi, he has to go to Menchia Palace. That's the route that he uses. I can say as a person, as an individual, that made the police also have some kind of fear due to the reaction with the Zongo community. Maybe when they come around, something may happen. But later on, I learned they set a committee to investigate through the matter. And for now, the matter has been calmed down. There's nothing going on bad in this community. No one is talking about it. No one is doing any demonstration again. And for now, I would have liked to appeal to the police commander if they will allow their men to come around to control the traffic situation over here.
This might not be the case for your absentee because this issue, the Zongo's youth has calmed down and they know that it's the will of God. And inshallah, everything will work very simple for them. So they don't have any issue with the police. They need them a lot. If they are here, the police will help the Zongo community.
Taxi drivers who operate within the community say the development is having a toll on their work.
The absence of the police is making the traffic situation unbearable. The tricycle operators make matters even worse. If the police are here, they will be able to control the situation. So we are appealing to the police commander to help us.
It is really a worrying situation for us taxi drivers here. There's always heavy vehicular traffic at this intersection between 8 and 9 a.m. The absence of the police is making matters worse over here, especially we the drivers who operate within this area. We really need the police. The Ashanti Regional Police Command has declined comment on the matter. Meanwhile, Asawasi Municipal Security Council says it is working to resolve the matter. Alhaji Ali Dusedu is Chief Executive for the Asawasi Municipal Assembly.
Yes, when the issue came to our attention, what happened was that MUSEC had sat together. We see from the one, we engaged the families of all the victims. From here, the municipality, out to the crime scene, we were with them. And almost all the movements that we embarked on, we were going with them. So that eased their tensions more. But now as it is, the municipality is doing everything possible, and the MUSEC is meeting by Friday. It's an emergency meeting to look at it from that angle. Because now the pledge is that the police will come in full force. They will come and do whatever they used to do. They will come and do their work irrespective of whatever has happened. Because we need them. The community need them. They also need the community.
Reporting from Asawasi, my name is Hafiz Tijani, Citi News.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom live on Citi TV. We'll go for a short break, but when we come back, we'll project into 2019 and ask how fisherfolk will prepare for the close season that will come. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Your mornings with culturally enriched conversations, social interviews, and policy-oriented discussions that will keep you updated on the progress of the nation.
Because we're giving only those in their third trimester. So in the next 3 months, those in their second would be ready to receive the kits. And we're taking data at registration, which is before they take the kits, at delivery and post-delivery, so that we can analyze and we'll see the numbers. So from the numbers and the data that we're collecting, we would know what has worked, what hasn't worked, you know.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Let your voice be heard with the hashtag Breakfast Daily. Join us for breakfast daily, only on Citi TV.
It's engaging, detailed, and loaded with factual and incisive analysis. It's The Big Issue, your preferred Saturday morning news and current affairs analysis program on Citi TV. Tune in this and every Saturday at 9 a.m. and hear the newsmakers discuss the top issues for the week.
At that time, Charlotte was complete. I'm not defending Charlotte. I'm talking about the way we behave like hypocrites and ostriches in this country. At that time, she was a perfect person.
It's The Big Issue with Stella Madonu on Citi TV. This and every Saturday at 9 a.m.
Welcome back to the Citi Newsroom live on Citi TV. My name is Nathan Quao. Let's do some fishing now. And proceeds from that industry continue to plunge despite prayers every year for a bumper harvest. The government announced a closed fishing season, which was intended to change the trend. However, opposition from the beneficiaries, the fisherfolk, have forced a postponement of the ban. But how are they preparing towards a close season. My colleague Eugenia Tinkrang finds out.
The Tema Fishing Harbour would have been dead quiet had the government's plan of implementing a closed fishing season this month had come into effect. The fishermen were unanimous in their resistance to the ban, saying it will place a huge financial toll on them. In the end, the government gave in to their demands.
And people are telling you that, allow us enough time. We've gone for loans. Allow us enough time. We are now listening. And we are saying that it is time to extend the close season for you to understand, for you to imbibe it into your spirit and prepare your mind for it.
So are the fishermen making the bumper catch with the suspension?
Na membe ya nsho in panfen kanu en lo fen ni wodume lo gbese kra.
Well, this isn't expected to improve any soon. Annual catch has dropped from 200,000 metric tons per year in 1998 to less than 20,000 metric tons. Should it drop further, the fish will go with the people's livelihoods. But the government is determined to avert this. In August next year, it says the postponed closed season will come into effect. But will the fishermen agree? Ni Odamiti is the chief fisherman at the Tema Fishing Harbour.
We embrace the lift of the ban because we said we are not ready. The time is too limited. You see, we have to be informed about a year or a 6-month time so that we can put down small money issue. You get me? So when you ban, then we can depend on.
The fishmongers also say they will save towards the closure. Fisherfolk here seem to be embracing the need for a closed fishing season. But of course, a little more education needs to be carried out to get them to accept the timing for the closure. Reporting for Citi News from the Tema Fishing Harbour, I am Eugenia Tenkran.
The Media Coalition Against Galamsey has expressed its dissatisfaction with government's roadmap to lifting the ban on small-scale mining, which was instituted almost 2 years ago. Convener for the group, Ken Ashigbe, says key stakeholders were not properly consulted and has further identified some lapses in the document. According to him, if care is not taken, lifting the ban based on this roadmap may do more harm than the intended good.
We realized the fact that there was no engagement with the media for when this roadmap was being drawn. So a lot of the inputs that the media could have contributed to the roadmap was lost. Considering the fact that if you take this fight, so an organization like CTFM, you started, intensifying the fight against Galamsey way before 2017, even before this election was done. And then if your input were sought, you would have contributed and enriched, this document that would lead to ensuring that we were completely dealing with the scourge of illegal mining. But that was lost. So if you look into the document that have been done, you realize that going forward to the issues of a stakeholder engagement is completely missing in it. You see somewhere in the document they need to do a documentary, and you know that a documentary will not be enough to be able to touch the heart and minds of Ghanaians to be able to carry them along. There's no communication strategy also in the plan. We also realize the fact that, in the document, there's allusion to the fact that currently, as we speak, only 10% prosecutions have been achieved with all the arrests that Operation Vanguard has done. And then the document then goes on to talk about the fact that they would get the Attorney General to work to create mining courts. But we are not oblivious of the fact that the former Chief Justice set up 14 specialized courts to look into mining cases, 7 circuit courts and 7 high courts. But so what has happened to that, and what will be new in this particular one to ensure that this particular one works?
Let's get to Kumasi, where there was heavy police presence at the premises of the High Court today as alumni of both the Unity and the University Halls of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology thronged the court to witness an injunction application case filed against the university.
Both halls have filed a similar suit at the court, seeking to restrain the university from converting the halls into a unisex one. The police say they were deployed there to prevent any incidents. Meanwhile, the court, presided over by Justice Samuel Asante-Dewo, consolidated both suits since they were seeking a single relief. The lead counsel of the Katanga Hall, lawyer Stephen Bequin, explaining what transpired in court today, warned the university could face contempt charges.
That going forward, something good will come out of our way. That is our belief. The rest lies with the judge. He knows what he's going to do tomorrow anyway. But that is my personal belief.
Now, 2 Supreme Courts have appeared before the Appointments Committee of Parliament.
Professor Ni Ashikote and Justice Samuel Mafusao were vetted by the committee following their nomination by President Akufo-Addo in July this year. There's more in the following report.
Following the Speaker's referral of the President's nominees for Justices of the Supreme Court to the Appointments Committee of the House, the committee considered 2 nominees. First to appear was academic Professor Ni Ashikote, who has been at the bar since 1982. The Osu native indicated at his vetting that he believes the current jurisdiction of the Supreme Court is too wide and must be narrowed to improve its efficiency.
An Uber driver identified as Nana on Tuesday night allegedly assaulted a passenger at Dansoman. This followed the refusal of the passenger to pay the fare, which did not represent the displayed price. Citi TV's checks at the Dansoman Police Command confirm that the matter is under investigation. Meanwhile, the victim is demanding justice after several attempts to get a response from Uber Ghana have been fruitless.
What started as a very normal Uber ride home will later turn sour for Angela Thompson, not her real name. The about 30 minutes ride started at Abelinkwe. Upon reaching her destination, Dansoman, the displayed fare was 9 Ghana cedis 83 pesos. The driver, identified as Nana, however, was not content with the price quoted and demanded she paid a new fare of 23 Ghana cedis. When she objected, the driver allegedly grew angry and began to beat her. Angela said it took the help of her neighbors to stop the attack.
So Tuesday I'd gone out in the evening, and on my way back I requested an Uber. Then when I got home, I live at Dansoman. When I got home and the driver ended the trip, the fare on his screen was 9 cedi 83 pesos. So I took our money to give to him, and he didn't understand why the fare was 9 cedi 83 pesos. Proceeded to bring out another phone to calculate the fare, like from a billing pay to Dansoman. He did his own calculation. He said I should pay him about 23 cedis. I'm like, no, I'm not going to pay you that because the screen is saying that I should pay you this. I'd been in the car for like 10 minutes and it was midnight. So I'm like, look, I'm tired. I'm going in there. I've given you money. You don't want it. I don't know what you want me to do at this point. And it wasn't as if I was even arguing with him or anything. I was just listening to him rant and go on. Then I got down from the car because I'd given him the money. I didn't see the point in sitting in the car anymore. Immediately I got out from the car and I was trying to, I was wearing heels, I had taken off my shoes and left it. So when I was trying to get my belongings, thank God, the next thing I know, he grabs me from behind and puts me on the floor. And he starts dragging me and struggling me. He was trying to get hold of my phone. I don't know what for. I started screaming like for help. I started screaming help, like he's trying to kill me. I was screaming. And he kept doing it because it was midnight, there was no one out. But immediately he realized that people were coming out from their houses. My brothers were coming out from the house because we were in front of my house. When he saw that the gate had been open, he just went into the car. And
Angela will later report the matter to Uber Ghana, but has not gotten any tangible response. She revealed that it took the efforts of her boss to get an official from Uber to engage her, an engagement she described as meaningless.
What's in the issue though? And then the same response, we tried reaching you on, then they'll quote my number. Nobody. I'm like, no, you people haven't tried calling me. Every call has been coming through. Your call hasn't come through. Every call I've missed and I've called back, it wasn't Uber. So I was very frustrated because at least I'm saying this is my side of the story. Let's get in touch with the driver. Let him say maybe he was going through some stress or something. He took it out on me. Like, let's find out what the issue is. Why did he react that way? If truly that was not the fare and I have to pay, I'm ready to pay that. But then I still want I still want justice. I want the right things. You can't drag me and assault me in front of my house and go scot-free. If my boss didn't know anybody for us to even with knowing someone and getting through to one of the managers, this is how you are going about the whole issue. What if I didn't know anybody?
Her story has received attention on social media.
He put up the post on Facebook and it went people started sharing it, went a little bit viral. And if you go beneath the comments, everybody has an issue with Uber. The same drivers abuse everything. Everybody seems to have an issue with Uber. And I think when I don't know if they search for their name, when they see Uber, then they appear on the post. We are sorry, we'll reach out to you. The same automated response.
You're still live on Citi Newsroom here on Citi TV. We have more news coming up shortly. Do stay.
Thursday night on Citi TV. You're welcome to join women from different backgrounds and opinions as they weigh in on your relationship issues. Watch Sister Sister as the ladies get real with issues about love, marriage, betrayal, sex, dating, trust, finances, and more.
And his goals and aims and ambitions, including marital life or children. You should know that from the beginning. And when you have a deep conversation, you should be able to sense the vibe or the energy, but you should have that conversation so that you know what you're going in for. And then you advise yourself upon what you want and what the person wants.
Join Jessica and her sisters for Citi TV's all-women talk show, Sister Sister, every Thursday at 9 p.m.
It's engaging, detailed, and loaded with factual and incisive analysis. It's The Big Issue, your preferred Saturday morning news and current affairs analysis program on Citi TV. Tune in this and every Saturday at 9 a.m. and hear the newsmakers discuss the top issues for the week.
At that time, Charlotte was complete. I'm not defending Charlotte. I'm talking about the way we behave like hypocrites and ostriches in this country. At that time, she was a perfect person.
It's The Big Issue with Selam Adonu on Citi TV. This and every Saturday at 9 a.m.
Hello again. The Motor Transport and Traffic Department, MTTD, of the Ghana Police Service has lamented the numerous road accidents which occur mainly at zebra crossing points. According to the directorate, which is responsible for road safety in Ghana, some efforts have been made to reduce the number of such road casualties. The director in charge of education, research and training at the Motor Transport and Traffic Department of the Ghana Police Service, Superintendent Alexander Kwekobeng, in an interview with Citi News, outlined some of these interventions geared towards making our roads safer.
I'm happy this year the state informed all of us that it's giving so much to the Ministry of Roads and Highways to intensify its road refurbishment and auditing, and then the deployment of so many road safety road furniture, including markings, which obviously zebra crossing will benefit, and then replacement of pelican crossing lights, and then footbridges and all that. And our efforts in bringing the unsafe nature of the road, particularly to pedestrians, as a result of our weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual crash reports, has also informed National Road Safety Commission to bring the protection of the pedestrian to the burner of road safety sensitization in Ghana. And it's part of their strategy for this year that we all need to sensitize all manner of pedestrians to be informed in advance to use the road in decorum and cross the road at safe crossing points, and at the same time target our drivers. That most of those crashes that are happening, or the conflict between the vehicle and the pedestrian at level crossing points, are happening at the zebra, and therefore we require that the drivers also moderate in their speeds, slow down and all that. And together, within that, it will yield results.
A Deputy Chief Executive of the NHI, Dr. Lydia Jani Selby, says the Attorney General has handed their outfit a fiat to begin prosecuting its own cases against people who defraud the NHIS. According to her, the move will expedite the hitherto cumbersome legal processes the authority had to go through to retrieve monies from the perpetrators because of its dependence on state prosecutors.
Recently, a high court in Sekondi jailed the former medical director of the Sikado District Hospital for defrauding the scheme. It took the court 3 years to pass the verdict. The authority has many other cases in court, but Dr. Selby, speaking at a World Bank and Citi FM roundtable discussion on technology and innovation in the health sector, said she is also hopeful more severe punishments will be meted out to deter future culprits.
If we find you have defrauded us, we just take the money back. How is that a deterrent? Because a couple of them, as soon as you catch them, they are willing to give the money back. That tells me they've taken more than we have seen. There should be penalties. If you took 100,000, you should pay back 500,000. But one of the biggest deterrents for professionals is the thought that they may go to prison. And if we can get a few people in that uncomfortable zone, I think healthcare professionals will think twice. Health insurance fraud is difficult to understand sometimes for the legal system. I know colleagues in the US I've spoken to. It's not that easy prosecuting those kind of cases, and because it's something new here, it's been a bit of a challenge getting the whole justice system to really understand what health insurance is all about and the actual cost of the defrauding. So it's something we're working on very actively. The Attorney General's department has been very good to us in that regard, and they are really training our legal department to see how we can take this forward. We've been given a fiat, so our Attorney General's department is training our legal department for them to be able to do prosecutions.
And that is it for the Citi Newsroom. Do visit citinewsroom.com for more news. My name is Frema Adunyame.
And my name is Nathan Quao. Many thanks for your time and do have a great evening.